Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. This is going to be a short video talking about Don Lemon from CNN. And I just want to give some thoughts on this whole, controversial, he went through a whole tirade of what black folks need to do in order to basically, clear up our communities and, just giving some tough love to black folks. Bill Cosbyite version 1.2, I guess. And I just wanted to give people an understanding of who Don Lemon is. And this is without knowing him personally, but this is just his overall political philosophy. You have two schools of thoughts when it comes to what's going on with black people, black African people here in America, and what black African people should do as a response to the condition that we're in our political position, socioeconomic and political position within this country. There's only two schools of thoughts. You either have the person who wants to integrate into this system and be a part of the American tapestry, or you have the individual that wants to have socioeconomic and political control over their environment, and that would make them, I guess, nationalists, so to speak. Those are the two schools. So if you're a nationalist, you can't really look at Don Lemon and, take him to task for what he's saying that we should do, because Don Lemon is not coming from your perspective. Don Lemon is coming from the perspective of being black here in America and trying to fit in and get along and be a part of the American landscape. That's where he's coming from. So when he agrees with Bill O'Reilly on cultural critique of black folks, don't get upset. Why? I mean, like I said, it goes back to being upset when you find out that a black mamba snake bites. I mean, what are you upset about? That's the nature of it. And he would fall under classification. I mean, I hate to use the word militant and Don Lemon in the same sentence, but he is a strand of the militant integrationist segment of our community. It's those black folks who want to be militant and black, but at the same time don't want any black power. When you start talking about black power, then they accuse you of being racist and discriminatory, and they say that we're all the same and we need to, they want to fight for equality and stuff like that. So they're not really about black power, but at the same time, they don't want to completely go over to the other side, because then they'll be considered a sellout, so to speak. You know what I mean? So they want to play both sides of the fence. Like, they want to stay on the black side and say, yo, I understand, this is my people. I understand what you're going through. But then they don't want to get too far on the black side so that they can say, well, hey, wait a minute now. We ain't trying to be militant now. We trying to be a part of this American system, and we have to involve ourselves into it and vote and do this and do that so we can be a part of the game. And that's the reason why black folks is in the condition that they are in, is because they're not pulling up their pants. If you notice, you'll hear people like Don Lemon and people who say the things that he does, and they all say the same thing. Like, when your issue is about, like, there's a issue that was out a while ago about black names. And the question was, should you call your child, or when you name your children, should you name them a black name, whatever the fuck that is? I don't know what that means. Are they talking about African names, or just like, I guess, quote unquote, what they conceive to be ghetto names? I don't know what that means. But let's just say you understand what I'm saying, or what they're saying when they say that. Should we be calling our children black names, or should we well, I won't say should we call them white names, but should we be calling our children names that identify who they are ethnically as black people? And will that hurt them? Now, the only way that you would ask a question like that is if you are definitely trying to be a part of this system and you have no intentions of black African people having control of their own community. Because what you're saying when you ask that question is, since we're never going to have our own, since we're never going to build our own institutions, since we're never going to have our own standard, is calling or identifying ourselves as black people going to isolate us from the mainstream? Because that way they won't be able to give us a job. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the mentality that you're dealing with. You're dealing with an integrationist. You're dealing with somebody who has no clue about the concept of black African power. So that's it. Just when you look at this guy, don't get upset. Don't get mad. Just understand who he is. And understand who, any of those militant integrationists are. These people who want to be on both sides of the fence. I remember on one story I seen, he was practically in tears because this white man didn't understand what he had to go through as a black man in this society. And I'm quite sure that that's a conversation. I would love to hear the conversation of his pain and his hurt over what that white man said about his plight as a black man in society when he's in bed with his white boyfriend. I'm just curious. Like, what do you have to say in that situation? I mean, are you the bottom? Are you the top? How's it go? And keep in mind, I'm not I'm not attacking him because he's gay. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is, where do your loyalties lie? Where do your loyalties lie? Do it lie with us, or does it lie with someone else? And if it lies with someone else, why are you playing both sides of the fence? Stick on the side that you really, really are loyal to and stay there. Don't be one of those people that want to be, like when you're trying to do something and you have people that's around you and they got 1 foot on water and 1 foot on dry land. And the reason why they do that is, if you make it, they can always say, damn, man, I always knew you could do it. I was right there with you. If you don't make it, or if you fail, they can distance themselves from you. And that's what these guys are. They're militant integrationists, they're fence riders, and they don't want to take a stand, and they don't stand for nothing. So that's Don Lemon in a nutshell, and I managed to do it in under 8 minutes. So that's all I have to say on that, and I'll talk to you good people later. Peace.